Sick of playing Tarkov at 10 FPS? You boys deserve more, right? Well, this video should hopefully help you boost up performance in game with a few simple steps. I have made a video in the past which shows a few ways to improve FPS and performance, but in this video it will go into much more detail and hopefully give you those larger improvements. I'll be breaking this video down into different segments which will be in a pinned comment below, so you can skip to certain sections if you need to, but honestly I recommend watching the whole thing because it gives you a wide range of options to improve your performance and FPS. First, let's gloss over the minimum and recommended PC specs to make sure your PC will be able to run Escape from Tarkov in the first place. The minimum specs to be able to run Escape from Tarkov are a dual-core processor at 2.4 GHz, so that will be an Intel i3 or even an Intel Core 2 Duo. If you prefer Team Red or AMD, Athlon or Phenom 2 processors will be your best bet. And for GPUs, a DirectX 11 compatible GPU with at least 1GB of VRAM is what you're going to need here. And then they say the minimum spec is 6GB of RAM, however let's be real, you need a lot higher than even 8GB to run this game properly. The recommended specs are shown at a much higher requirement, a quad-core processor, either an i5 or an i7 at 3.2 GHz for Team Blue, or a 3.6 GHz AMD FX or Athlon for Team Red. The graphics card doesn't change much, being a DirectX 11 compatible card with 2GB of VRAM or more. And then RAM is 8GB recommended, but again I'd say you're probably still going to run into some issues with 8GB RAM, so I honestly recommend 12 or 16 gigs. Now if your computer falls under the minimum category or you're just unsure, then I would double check with a site called Can I Run It, created by System Requirements Lab. Here the website will automatically detect your computer settings and tell you quickly if you can run the game or not. I will leave a link to this in the video description below. In terms of your own PC specs, if you do plan to upgrade certain parts, then there are a few things that I would recommend upgrading first, which won't cost you an arm and a leg. Get yourself 16GB of RAM, which can be found dirt cheap on places like Amazon. And I do recommend finding yourself an SSD to install both Windows for general boot and also the actual Escape from Tarkov download. This will improve your loading times into RAID and general reliability of the game as a whole. Now I'm going to move on to my in-game settings. Ever since I released the video that went over my in-game settings to improve performance, I absolutely swore by them if you're struggling to get the most FPS out of Tarkov. So what I'm going to do now is reiterate them for you. First, if you go to settings then click the game tab, make sure the auto RAM cleaner is turned on. This will clear out any temp files and backend functions that are running, taking up less system resources. Now take a look at the actual graphics tab. Of course you can turn everything down to minimum and that will improve your FPS, however there is a lot more that can be done which can improve your FPS and performance without sacrificing too much of the overall look of the game. The first thing you're going to do is turn your overall texture quality to low, then turn your texture quality to high, shadow quality to low, object LOD quality to 2, overall visibility to 1000, shadow visibility to 40, anti-aliasing to TAA, resampling to 1 or off, HBAO to off, SSR to off, anisotropic filtering to per texture, sharpness to 0.9, the lobby FPS limit to 60 and the game FPS limit to 120, that's just the maximum it can go. And then you're going to want to turn Z-blur, chroma aberrations, noise and grass shadows just all off, untick all of the boxes down at the bottom. One thing that could improve your game's reliability is to go into the Battlestate Games launcher and then go to the settings tab. From here scroll all the way down till you see the option where it says when I close the launcher window, and in the drop down menu underneath make sure you have selected exit the launcher. Underneath this option is another setting titled when I launch the game. Also make sure you have the option exit the launcher completely selected. This means you'll have less resources that are being used in background processes such as the launcher when it's not needed, freeing up space for the actual game to eat up resources like the hungry fat fuck that it is. Whether you have an NVIDIA or an AMD graphics card, optimizing your graphic card within the control panel will make a difference to any game that you play. If you have a NVIDIA graphics card, then open up the NVIDIA control panel by right clicking the NVIDIA icon in the right of your taskbar, and then you can open up the control panel there. Once inside the control panel, under the 3D settings tab on the left hand side menu, you can find the adjust image settings with preview tab, and depending on the spec of your PC, choose from one of these two options. If you have a higher end PC, then select the let the 3D application decide, or if you have a lower end PC, then use the use my preference emphasizing and then drag the bar towards performance rather than quality. Then what you can do is go into the Manage 3D Settings option on the left hand side menu again and select Program Settings. Here you can click the Add button and then select EscapeFromTarkov.exe from the list. And then click Add Selected Program and make sure you make the following changes. Power Management Mode, turn that to Prefer Maximum Performance. This should for most GPUs improve your FPS, but in fact it can sometimes decrease it. If it does decrease yours, then change this option to Optimal Power. Preferred refresh rate is highest available, shader cache is on, triple buffering is off, and virtual reality pre-rendered frames is 1. If you have an AMD graphics card, then you need to open the AMD control panel. What you do is press the start button and start typing Radeon, and there you will see the Radeon control panel appear. Click that and then go into the gaming tab. Then click on global settings, and from here you're going to change these options. Go to the anti-aliasing mode and choose override application settings. Then click on the anti-aliasing level and make sure you have it selected to 2. Then go to anisotropic filtering mode and turn that on. Then click on the anisotropic filtering level and make sure you have that selected to 2 also. Click on the texture filtering quality and make that selected to performance. Now click on the wait for vertical refresh rate setting and make sure that is always off. Click on the tessellation mode and select override application settings, and finally click on maximum tessellation level and select it to either 32 or lower. I'd like to thank Redbeard for letting me team viewer into his PC because I don't have a Radeon graphics card, so I couldn't test this out for myself, so I used him as sort of a guinea pig, and it does seem to work well just based on him just changing that setting alone. Now we're going to make some changes to the actual .exe executable file, and that should improve your performance quite a lot. First, locate the path in which the game is installed. You can do this by going to the launcher and clicking on settings, and then scroll down until you see game directory. Underneath that, it will list the path in which the game is installed. Then navigate through the file explorer until you reach that location. In here, you will see the Escape from Tarkov application. What you need to do is right click on the application and go to Properties. First navigate to the Compatibility tab inside the Properties menu, and then tick the option that states Disable Full Screen Optimizations. Then click on the button that says Change High DPI Settings under the same tab, and tick the button at the bottom that says Override High DPI Scaling Behavior. Then the drop down list should become selectable, and make sure you have Application selected and not System or System Enhanced selected. Then you can click OK and hit Apply on these settings. You can now close the Properties menu. As mentioned in my last performance guide, Game Mode for Windows 10 is shite and needs to be disabled. To do this, simply click on the Start button and start typing Game Mode into the search. And then the Game Mode Settings option should appear. Click on this and go into the settings, and make sure you flip the switch to turn Game Mode off. In the same settings window on the left hand side menu, you should see a Game Bar option. Click that and disable the option that says Record Game Clips, Take Screenshots and Broadcast. If you've done all of what I've just said, then you should be seeing some noticeable improvements. If you don't, then you could also increase the priority of the game. When the game is open, tab out of the game and right click the taskbar and open the Task Manager. You can either do that or press Ctrl-Alt-Delete and open the Task Manager from that menu. Once in the Task Manager, you want to make sure that you're showing more details, and then click on the Details tab in the top menu. Here you will find the EscapeFromTarkov.exe application listed in the list. Right click on this application and set the priority to high. This will likely improve your performance, but sometimes you could actually see increased stutters. If this is the case, then change your priority down to normal instead. When playing Escape from Tarkov, there are a couple apps you could have open, the most common being Discord and Google Chrome. Make sure you have the option Hardware Acceleration unticked for both of these apps. To do this on Discord, you go to the Settings cog in the bottom and go to the Appearance tab. From here, untick the option for Hardware Acceleration. For Chrome, it's also rather simple to do. You go to the Settings page within Google Chrome by clicking the three dots in the top right and going to Settings. Once in Settings, go to Advanced and click on the System tab. And then untick Use Hardware Acceleration when available. In Google Chrome, you can also untick the option that says Continue running background apps when Google Chrome is closed. This will free up some more resources and locate it in the same section as the hardware acceleration option. Obviously, it isn't necessary to do if you're not using these programs. It's best, if possible, to close down anything running in the background if they're not needed, but a lot of the time you'll be having Discord and Chrome open when playing Tarkov to talk to your friends, have information about a guide that you may be completing or something like that open. It's really common from my experience to have one or both of these applications open. Honestly, I've gone through a lot of stuff in this video and I've tried to keep it as condensed as possible to not make the video excessively long. All of what I've mentioned can improve your Tarkov performance and gaming performance as a whole, but there are still tons of things that can help you. Just by cleaning your PC, for example, with an air duster, or stop it getting clogged with dust, and generally looking after your PC will improve performance in any game or any task you're actually doing. But I do have one last thing to share with you, and that is your power options. Hit the start button and start typing edit power plan in the search, and once you see the option, open it up. Change your power plan to high performance, and if you're using a laptop then this will reduce your battery life drastically, but batteries on laptops, especially gaming laptops, drain fast anyway. PCs aren't really negatively affected apart from your energy bill may rise slightly, but it's not really noticeable. This will just improve your gaming and PC performance as a whole anyway, so it's recommend doing even if you're not just doing it to play Tarkov. Hopefully this guide helps you improve your FPS, and if it did, then I'd love you to leave a comment telling me it did, and like the video, and maybe even subscribe to help the growth of this channel. Any questions or additions to this guide, feel free to post them in the comments below also. I love you all, and thank you for watching this video with all of this information right to the end. I really do appreciate it. I love you so much. You're sweet. Sugar, let's take you out for dinner, my treat. See you later. I'll pick you up at 8. I'd like to thank you all for staying to the end of this video, but before I end it, I want to tell you something about Shadow. Shadow is a company I'm working with to promote max gaming PC settings anywhere you are. Shadow is a cloud-based subscription service, and currently in Europe they're offering the ability to pre-order one of their free new tiers of membership, starting at only £12.99. Or if you live in the US, then Shadow continues to offer their regular subscription service for $30 a month. You can play any games, max settings, anywhere you are. If you have a broken down PC, a shitty laptop, or even a Mac, you can still play games like Tarkov in max settings, 1440p 60 FPS. And this is actually how I record all my gameplay and stream Tarkov at this point in time. So if you liked how the video looked in this video, then check out the link in the description and it will take you to Shadow's website. You could do more research there, and if you do decide to sign up using the code Samosh, then you will get a discount on your first month. Thank you everyone for watching, toodle pip cheerio, and enjoy your evening lads.